Hello friends, welcome to LeggLife. My name is Adam and we have wanted to make this video for 3 months. Because if you've been following our channel, if you've been following our journey, you will know that since early December, Sherri has been battling some health issues. And we have seen doctors, we've seen dermatologists, and we have had no answer and no answer and no answer, and we just have not known what in the heck this is until today. Because today, we finally got a diagnosis for Sherri. Now, this story is actually pretty crazy, and I'm excited to tell it all because this story involves one of you, a LeggLife viewer, but it also involves an outcome that not only was honestly pretty great in the scope of all the things this could have been, but could provide Sherri even a better future than she's sort of experienced in a while. Now, a little backstory for those of you who might not know what's been going on. In early December, Sherri developed a rash on her arm, and that rash quickly spread to most of her body. She saw a dermatologist, went on prednisone. The prednisone cleared most of it up, but once she stopped the prednisone in January, this rash flared back, and it came back with a vengeance. And Sherri has been in so much pain, and Sherri's been in so much discomfort, and it has been I think Sherri would easily say the hardest couple of months of her entire life, physically, mentally, emotionally, just absolutely exhausted and seeming like it would never end. And every doctor we saw and every dermatologist we saw, we'd go into those meetings like hoping for answers, hoping for relief, hoping for something. And we just got none of it. But today that changed because we walked into a doctor that we saw for the very first time, a specialist that was recommended from the last dermatologist. Because basically we saw the last dermatologist and she walked in and she said, I don't know what to do with you, but let's get you to someone who does. And fortunately, that's exactly what happened. She got us to someone who did. Now, over the last few months, obviously we've been sharing about this journey here on our channel. And the reason that we've been doing that is that we were very intentional when we called our channel LeggLife, because we wanted the ability to share all of our life with you. We didn't just want to share the Disney. We didn't just want to share the travel. We didn't just want to share like the highs or the Alaska stuff. We wanted to share our life with you. The problem is that sometimes life looks like this, right? Sometimes life looks like medical conditions that you don't have an answer for, or pain, or just discomfort, or just really trying seasons. And so over the last few months, we've wanted to be honest with you guys about that. And in doing that, so many of you guys have reached out to us with encouragement and prayers and just help. But you guys also have reached out to us with ideas like, could it be this? Could it be that? And so we have heard, I mean, literally hundreds and hundreds of ideas of what this could be. However, there was one of you that told us about one thing that I had never heard of before that it ended up being. And I'm gonna connect that story here in just a little bit because to me, it really is fascinating. But we walked into the doctor's office this morning and the doctor walked into the room and you could tell she was ready to do business. Like she meant business from the moment she walked in the room. And within minutes, we heard the term that she believes this is, and it's called exfoliative erythroderma. Now, as I mentioned, that wasn't a completely new term for me, because when we walked into the appointment today, I had 3 items listed in my cell phone. There were 3 things I wanted to ask about, that as we had looked into this, we thought these 3 things could be it. And I put them in my phone in order of what I didn't want it to be. The first one was something called mast cell activation syndrome. The second one was a histamine intolerance. And the third one was exfoliative erythroderma. Now let me tell you the story about how I first heard of that term. As I mentioned, we've shared about this on social media and we received a message from one of you who is a LeggLife viewer, who is a dermatologist, and she's been very kind to us in the past. We absolutely love her. And she said, hey, I would really like to help if I can. Would you mind if I took a look at this? Which of course, you know, like we were grasping for hope during this. And so she took a look at Sherri, she took a look at what's going on, and she came back to us with this term. And it was the first time I'd heard it. And I thought, what in the world is this? So I started looking into it, and the more I looked into it, the more I thought, this looks like it really could be that. And then when the doctor walks into the room this morning and starts explaining what she thinks it is and why, and she uses the term exfoliative erythroderma, I was just like, holy cow, like that's it. That's what we're dealing with. Like a LeggLife viewer first told us about this, and now the doctor is saying that's what this is. So essentially, here's what they think has happened with Sherri. And I'll talk to you a little bit about the treatment plan, what the journey looks like going forward, kind of how Sherri is currently, and just I'll fill you all in on that. But here's what they think probably happened. In late November, early December, Sherri started taking a new medication, and they think that her body just reacted negatively to that, right? There's no way to know that's going to happen, and so her body reacted that way. But Sherri's always had psoriasis, eczema, along with her EDS. And so essentially what happened is that her psoriasis got involved in this whole situation, and not only got involved in a little way, but basically exploded and took over. And so what Sherri has been dealing with since then is the most severe form of psoriasis. Now, we never even looked into psoriasis because Sherri's always had psoriasis, but it's never looked like this. It's never been this bad. This felt like something completely different. We just weren't aware that it could be the same type of thing, just a very, very severe case of it that was triggered from a drug reaction. Now, here are the silver linings in this. Number one, and when the doctor said this term, like, you guys, I don't know how to describe it, but it was like a weight lifted off of my shoulder. She said, this isn't a disease, this is a reaction, and we can treat reactions. And it was just like I almost get emotional just like repeating that, because it was just like, oh, because all of the what ifs we've dealt with, like, what if it's this? What if it's this? What if it's this? And then the doctor sits there and she looks at you and says, this isn't a disease, it's a reaction, and we can treat reactions. And it's just like, thank God, right? Like, thank God that we can. So here's what the treatment plan looks like for Sherri. She's on a number of prescriptions, which we picked up today and she's already started. The most significant of them is an injection. Now, our friend Desi, who's a nurse, you guys know Desi, we love Desi. Desi is a godsend to us all of the time, and especially tonight, because she came over and just like helped us with all of this. So Sherri had 2 injections tonight, and she will have 1 injection each of the next 2 weeks for a couple of months or a few months. And then we'll go to 1 injection a month, probably for the foreseeable future, probably for a while. But here's the good thing about that, is that this injection, the doctor thinks, isn't only going to clear up all of her skin issues she's dealing with. The doctor thinks this is also going to clear up the psoriasis that Sherri has dealt with almost all of her life. In fact, earlier tonight when we were talking with Desi here, Sherri said that she couldn't remember a time in her adult life when she hasn't been dealing with psoriasis on at least one part of her body. So this is like part of Sherri's day-to-day experience that might not be a part of it going forward. But then also Sherri experiences a lot of joint pain because of this kind of stuff. And there's a good chance that this injection will also help the joint pain. So Sherri could have skin that is clearer, that is less itchy and less painful than she's had ever. Sherri also could be experiencing less pain day to day because of this. And so there really is a chance that the quality of life that Sherri gets moving forward is even better than what she has had in the past. What a silver lining that is. Now, obviously what we have right now is a diagnosis, and we've just started this plan, right? The first medications were taken today. It's going to take some time to take effect. This isn't the kind of thing that Sherri instantly feels relief or results from. So today she's still in quite a bit of pain. Like, she's still in a lot of discomfort today. And so that's probably going to be going on for a little while, but for the first time in this journey, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, rather than a question mark. So still have a long journey ahead for Sherri, but hopefully, fingers crossed, this is gonna work. And some of you guys may know that I was actually supposed to be in Florida right now. I was supposed to leave earlier today after Sherri's appointment, but just because of how Sherri is doing, there's no way that I could possibly leave. And so I've actually pushed that back a few days, and then we're gonna play that by ear. We're gonna see how Sherri's doing, and we'll make that decision as we get closer. But we have a diagnosis. We know what this is. We are already starting treatment to battle this, and the hope is that in a couple months or a few months, this is all cleared up, this is behind us, and Sherri is experiencing more relief than she has ever. Like, I'm so thrilled, because this in a lot of ways was the best possible outcome. Of the things it could have been today, this was the best possible outcome, and I'm just really happy about that. And again, those words of the doctor have just been in my head all day. This isn't a disease, it's a reaction, and we can treat reactions. Was just like, I don't think that doctor will ever know how important those words were for us to hear. So for all of you guys who have been praying for Sherri, who were praying for us today during the doctor's appointment, who have prayed for us at all over the last few months, or just sent encouraging messages, just letting us know that you're thinking about us, you're thinking about Sherri as she's been going through this, thank you so much. We know that we are not out of the woods. We know that with medical issues, there are still things that can happen. We know that there's a chance that there could still be issues with this, or maybe it's even something different. But today, we have hope. Today, we have an idea of what this is. Today, we have answers. And so I'm really thankful for a lot of things. And I've been thinking about this all day today, because the last 3 months have been so frustrating and so hard and just so difficult. But today felt different. Today it felt like a weight was lifted off. And so I've been thinking today about all the things I'm thankful for. And I'm thankful for you guys, as I said, who've been supporting us. I'm thankful for the doctor that we got to see today, who walked into the room to do business and gave us so much more hope than we possibly could have expected. I'm thankful for the technology of medicine, that we can give my wife injections that can clear this up and make her life better. I'm thankful for our friend Desi, who came over tonight and showed us how in the heck do you do an injection? Like, she was the champ. Also, I've said, Desi, now you have to come over for every injection. Like, I'll make dinner, but you have to come over. You're officially our nurse, Des. So Des, if you're watching this, just so you know, we'll see you in 2 weeks because we have another injection. I'm making dinner. I'm thankful for our friend Sarah, who has been just a constant resource for us. Every medical question that we have had, every time that we have wondered something or had a question or just a concern, like, she has been there for us, and in a way that we could never possibly express our thankfulness. I'm thankful for our viewer who responded and reached out and said, could I lend my eyes to this? Could I take a look at this? And was the very first person to tell us exactly what it is that Sherri has. I'm thankful that Sherri just kept going. Like, I'm thankful that through all of the heaviness and the weight of the last few months, Sherri didn't give up. She was a huge trooper. She pushed through every ounce of pain. She's pushed through every sleepless night, of which there have been so many. And she just kept going. She kept setting up more doctor's appointments, and she kept doing more research, and she kept looking into this more and more. And finally, it looks like we have answers. So friends, that's what I wanted to do today. I wanted to let you guys know we have a diagnosis. In the grand scope of what it could have been, we're thankful that this is something that can be treated. We're thankful the treatment has already started, that we didn't have to wait for that. A couple of things for you guys to pray about, send positive vibes toward as we move forward. Number one, would you just pray this works? Right? Would you just pray that this works, that this is exactly what it is, that what the doctor thinks it is, what other people think it is what it is, and the medication starts to work quickly and Sherri starts to experience relief. The other thing, let's just be real honest. There is a savings group that Sherri and I need to get in for these injections. These injections are about $6,000 each. We can't pay $6,000 each. However, there's a savings group we can get in that drops this to like a completely minuscule amount of money. And so we need to get into that. So we have the application filled out. We have all that kind of stuff that's going to be submitted. But just pray that we are let into that. There's no reason for us to think that we won't be. But when I look at $6,000 per injection, of which Sherri had 2 tonight, or I look at just like a few dollars a month, I want that one. I want the few dollars a month. I want Sherri to be pain free. I want this stuff to be gone from Sherri. But if that could happen for this amount rather than that amount, that would be really great. So LeggLife community, we love you guys. This is one of the most amazing examples. We talk about this a lot on our channel, that you guys support us, you guys encourage us, and sometimes you guys even show up in the middle of medical catastrophes that we're experiencing, and you lend your expertise and your experience, and you're the first person to say, here's what I think Sherri has, and that ends up being exactly what she has. Very first diagnosed by a LeggLife community member before our new doctor here in Anchorage figured it out. What an unbelievable journey. It's obviously not over. Sherri Beth has a long road ahead of her. But tonight, I can honestly say, tonight for the first time through almost 3 months, both of us are going to lay down, try to sleep. Who knows if it'll happen? Try to sleep, but we have a little bit of hope. We have some answers. We have a direction. We have a diagnosis and treatment, has already started. And all of those things are such a huge answer to prayer. Friends, we love you guys so very much. Thanks for being a part of our community. Thanks for being a part of our journey in the really good times and in the really hard times. We're really thankful for all of you, and we'll see you on the next LeggLife video.